Hello students, this is the second video on transport in plants. In this video, you will be learn about plant water relations. Within the plant water relations, you will be learn what is water potential and what is osmosis and about plasmolysis and finally what is imbibition. Water is essential for all physiological activities of plants. Not only plants, water plays a very important role in all living organisms. The protoplasm of the cells is nothing but water in which different molecules are dissolved. The protoplasm means a cytoplasm along with the nucleus is called as protoplasm, and that protoplasm is nothing but water. And we have some examples about the percentage of water in plants. A watermelon contains over 92% of water, as well as most of the herbaceous plants have only about 10 to 15% of their fresh weight as dry matter. And also, a mature corn plant absorbs almost 3 liters of water in a day. A mustard plant absorbs water equal to its own weight in about 5 hours. We know about seeds may appear to dry, but still they have some amount of water. If there is no water in seeds, they would not be alive or they would not respire. And within the plant, the distribution of water is also varies. Woody parts contain very little amount of water, whereas soft parts contain most of the water. Now we know what is water potential. The chemical potential of water is called water potential. The chemical potential is nothing but movement of water. There is two aspects that determines water potential. They are solute potential and pressure potential. Water molecules possesses kinetic energy. That kinetic energy is required for the movement of water. A system with greater concentration of water has greater its kinetic energy or water potential. Means only the presence of water. Some example is pure water. So that pure water has highest water potential value, that is 0. You have to remember that a system with pure water has highest water potential value, that is designated as 0. If some solute dissolved in water, automatically the concentration of water is decreased in that solution. It results a reduction in its water potential values. So reduction in water potential values means already we know that highest water potential is 0, that is for pure water. So whenever we are adding some solute to water, its water potential values are reduced, means from they are reduced from 0 to negative values. An important note is all solutions have less water potential values than pure water, because pure water is having highest water potential value, that is 0. Whenever we are adding solute to water, its water potential values are decreased, means they are becoming negative. The magnitude of lowering the water potential values due to dissolution of solute is called as solute potential. This solute potential is always negative. The more the solute molecules, the lower is solute potential. For a solution at atmospheric pressure, water potential is equal to solute potential. If we apply pressure greater than atmospheric pressure to pure water or a solution, automatically its water potential values are increased. This applying of pressure is equivalent to pumping of water from one place to another place. Entry of water into the cells makes it turgid and increases water potential. So this magnitude of increment in water potential in such a turgid cell is called as pressure potential. This pressure potential is always positive, whereas solute potential is always negative. So the water potential of a cell is affected by both solute potential as well as pressure potential. The relationship between them is as follows, that is psi W is equal to psi S plus psi P. Here psi W is water potential and the psi S is solute potential and the psi P is pressure potential. So water potential is equal to sum of solute potential and pressure potential. Osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water molecules from the region of lower concentration to the region of higher concentration through semi-permeable membrane. So this osmosis is particularly restricted to the movement of water molecules. At equilibrium, the two chambers have the same water potential values, and the direction and rate of osmosis depends on two aspects. They are pressure gradient and concentration gradient. We know that within plants, root absorbs water from soil, that is through osmotic mode or osmosis. That completely depends on concentration gradient. So concentration gradient means within soil water is high, means low concentration, and within the plant the concentration is high. That's why water is entered into the plants through osmosis, and this absorption need not requires any energy. That's why it is called as passive absorption. So here we have diagrammatic representation for osmosis. Dilute solution means low concentration solution. Concentrated solution means high concentrated solution. So here the movement of water molecules is from dilute solution to concentrated solution, means low concentration to high concentration. At equilibrium, these two chambers are having same water potential values, and we have to remember that these two chambers are must be separated by partially permeable membrane or semi permeable membrane. Plasmolysis. So before going to know about what is plasmolysis, we have to know the behavior of plant cells or tissues with regard to water movement is depends on surrounding solution. We have three types of surrounding solutions for the behavior of plant cells. They are isotonic solution, hypotonic solution and hypertonic solution. Isotonic solution means external solution concentration is equal to osmotic pressure of cytoplasm. It means the concentration of external solution and the concentration of cytoplasm is equal. Second one, hypotonic solution. Hypotonic solution means external solution is more diluted than cytoplasm. It means external solution is low concentrated solution and the cytoplasm of cells is high concentration. And the third one is hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution means external solution is more concentrated than cytoplasm. It means external solution is high concentrated solution and cytoplasm is low concentrated. One thing about these three types of solutions, cell swells in hypotonic solution and shrinks in hypertonic solution, because whenever a cell placed in a hypotonic solution, external solution is a low concentration, that's why the water enters into the cell. So whenever water enters into the cell, it becomes swells, whereas whenever plant cell is placed in a hypertonic solution means external solution is high concentrated, so water comes out from the cell and it become shrinks. So this shrinkage of protoplast in hypertonic solution is called as plasmolysis. The definition for plasmolysis is whenever plant cells are placed in hypertonic solution, water moves out from the cell and protoplast become shrinks. This shrinkage of protoplast is called as plasmolysis. So in plasmolysis, water moves out first from the cytoplasm and then from vacuole, and finally protoplast become shrinks. So we have to know what is incipient plasmolysis. So incipient plasmolysis means separation of plasma membrane from the cell walls in the corners is called as incipient plasmolysis. When the cell is left in the hypertonic solution for more time, the protoplasm completely shrinks. So then the cell is said to be plasmolyzed or flaccid, and this phenomenon is called as plasmolysis. Here we have a diagrammatic representation for plasmolysis. Second diagram represents incipient plasmolysis. If still the plant cell is placed in hypertonic solution, the protoplast completely shrinks. That is represented in fourth diagram. So that complete shrinkage of protoplast is called as plasmolysis. In a plasmolyzed cell, the pressure potential becomes zero, hence the water potential becomes equal to the solute potential. As we know that water potential is equal to solute potential and pressure potential. So in a plasmolyzed cell there is no pressure, so psi W is equal to 0. Then the water potential is equal to solute potential. There are some practical applications for plasmolysis. They are salting of pickles and preserving of fish and meat in salt. When we are talking about isotonic solution, the net movement of water is 0, and the process of plasmolysis is usually reverse in hypotonic solution. Reverse in hypotonic solution. So whenever plant cells are placed in hypotonic solution, cells become turgid, as well as turgid pressure or pressure potential builds up within the cell. So this turgor pressure or pressure potential is ultimately responsible for the enlargement and extension or growth of cells. Imbibition. Imbibition, or sometimes called as imbibition, it is a special type of diffusion. So this imbibition is the absorption of water by solid colloids. This imbibition causes enormous increase in volume. Example for imbibition is absorption of water by seeds and dry wood. According to our topic, we have to know imbibition capacity. Generally, proteins are having high imbibition capacity than carbohydrates. Here, water potential gradient between the absorbent and the liquid imbibed is essential for imbibition. So this picture explains about imbibition. First test tube with dry seeds, second test tube with petroleum ether, and third one is 50% sucrose, and fourth one is 25% sucrose. In all these three cases, their imbibition capacity is low, but when seeds are placed in diluted water, they are imbibed, means water is entered into the seeds, that's why their volume is increased. So this absorption of water by solid colloids like seeds or wood is called as imbibition. Proteins are having high imbibition capacity than carbohydrates. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please share to your friends and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for upcoming notifications. Thank you.